if you make that preset in your vehicle, people are going to like you a whole lot better, and you'll be better looking. No guarantees, but I've heard that's what will happen. And probably no effect on how much you'll be paying at the gas pump, because it is all over the place, which is why Ray R.T. Trevino, who runs Pecos Country Energy, is joining us now so we can make some sense out of the craziness. RT, how you doing?
Doing well, Brad. Doing real well. Hope everybody's having an epic 2024 so far.
Yeah, well, the way we figure it can't be worse than 2023. So, although you should never, ever say that out loud, I'm immune to the jinxing. So, oil prices, to say that they have shot up is an understatement. And we always on the news hear about the Houthi rebels that we are now opening fire on. These two things are related, because a lot of shipping goes through that area of the country, right?
Right, that is correct. Yeah, that whole area of the Red Sea is where a large portion of not only oil and gas ships out of, but also other cargo products that are used here in America.
Gotcha. All right, so explain to me what's happening right now. And before I do that, because you are a gas and oil exploration and production company here in Fort Worth, when the president says things like you need to, we've passed out a lot of passes to, dig in and do some exploring. What's the story behind all that? I mean, it makes it sound like he tries to make it sound like the onus is on everybody else. Are they really making it difficult to drill and explore for oil in the White House?
Well, again, like you just said, if you ask the White House, they're not. However, they are doing more to hurt the oil and gas industry on a daily basis, and that then turns into hurting the American economy and the American people. The regulations and the stipulations that are now going into new permits in areas of known prolific production are harder and harder to come by. Just look at what happened a couple of weeks ago when almost nobody bid on the new Gulf of Mexico leases that are prolific to oil and gas production here. The stringent regulations are now just slowing us down like no other, and that's a main reason why we are now producing more oil than we ever have.
Well, okay, explain that. If you're producing more oil, is that because you're not exploring other oil fields? How to explain that to me? I'm not sure I understand.
The easiest way I can explain that we're producing more oil is that we've basically opened up the spigot. If you have that outside hose and you got to turn the hose on, we've really opened them up almost full blast, and we're now producing more out of existing wells that were already drilled prior to this administration. So this administration can take all the credit they want that we're producing more oil, but it's in fact due to President Trump and his pro-oil stance that we are able to drill so many new wells during that administration that we now have so much oil that we can produce today. It's a domino effect. It really is.
Yeah, it sounds like, and the average person, and I consider myself pretty average. I put gas into my truck, and beyond that, that's pretty much what I know. That the prices, I see them going up, I see them going down on occasion, not nearly enough, but I mean that's the extent of my knowledge, and I don't know how many people really understand the full the chain of events that has to happen to turn oil into gas, etc. It's a complicated process. They try to make it sound simple, when they make their statements out of the White House. Everything's fine, everything's great, but the bottom line is they are trying to throw roadblocks in front of y'all at every step of the way. Is that correct?
That is correct. Right now, this administration is an anti-oil and gas administration. They have been trying to shut us down since this man was elected on November 4th, I think, since the election night.
Yeah.
And, right now, the best thing we got is that we're producing oil. However, this is going to come back and hurt us as an American people in the long run, because even though we're producing more than we ever have, we're not drilling new wells like we ever have. So We're not replacing what we have. which will then in turn, the supply and demand will flop, meaning we'll have less supply and way more demand.
Well, and he's opened up the reserves that we have, and we've used a lot of those reserves, right? I mean, those are running low.
Yes, not only are we not replenishing what we have in the ground, but we're not even replenishing the strategic petroleum reserve as well. That's correct.
So, what the effect in the near future? I mean, when are we going to start feeling the serious pain at the pump? I'm assuming they're manipulating everything that they can in the government itself to try to keep things kind of even keel until the election, and then after that point they don't give a crap and they're going to let it all go to hell. What do we need to what should we expect in the near term and then in the the next couple of years?
That's a very good question. Right now, due to what's going on in the Red Sea, all those tankers and cargo ships that are traveling the longer distance, we won't see those effects for another 2 to 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, we probably won't see the effects of all the oil we've produced for at least another 8 to 12 months if this administration continues. If this administration's back in office in 2024, 2025, we could see definitely more of this. We'll definitely see a lot of anti-oil rhetoric between now and the election. Right. And guys, I will say this, that this, and people have said it before and I never have, but this is going to be a very important election for the economy and how the United States moves forward. We need to move forward in a friendly, pro-America way, and drilling here in America is one of those ways.
Yeah, it's funny you should say that because you're right. In the past, I've often heard, we even, the show I do, had a jingle made that said, it's the most important election of our lifetime. And everybody, kind of laughed because it had become a cliche. And now I think we truly are looking at the most important election in our collective lifetimes because this is going to be a game changer. I think we've seen what the other side wants to do, and it's not pretty. So people need to get out there and vote.
They do. And look at it this way. It's kind of funny. The previous administration, and I'll just stay respectful and say it like that, they proved that you can get a lot done in a short amount of time. And yes. Guess what? So has the Biden administration. They proved they can get a lot done in a short amount of time. And
kind of like hope and change. It sounds good, but it doesn't necessarily mean it is good.
Yes. It's true that this administration has done probably more, I'll say, damage in 3 years than the President Obama's administration did in 8. And President Trump was able to, in my opinion, do very good things in 3-4 years. Mm-hmm. So both these administrations have proved Washington can work fast.
Yeah, boy, they can't when they want to, and then when it's on stuff that's going to help us, they work extremely slow. Ray Trevino, what do you like, the president of Pecos Country Energy? It just says you run it. I know you. What's big chief?
No, we're a family office, and there's still other people ahead of me, but I'm definitely vice president of operations there at Pecos Country Operating and Pecos Country Energy.
The website is
pecosoperating.com.
Cool. I appreciate the information and the expertise. Stay warm out there. We'll talk again soon.
Thank you, Brad. Talk to you again.